Namaste, Sharana Sharanarthigalu. Dear learners, welcome to SBPS online classes. Dear students, today we are going to start new lesson from NCERT class 6th, our past one, history section, chapter number 5, Kingdoms, Kings and an Early Republic. So this chapter discuss about the period of 3000 years ago. So this period is called as a later Vedic period. So after the Rig Veda, another three books were written in the 3000 years later. So this in this chapter we will study how does and where did the kingdoms established in our Indian subcontinent, and which are the religious rituals has to be performed by a become ruler of for man, and which are the political, economic, religious and social policies had to be maintained by the king after holding a royal chair of the kingdom, and which are the kingdoms followed the republic government in during the later Vedic period. So let us begin our discussion with the concept from this chapter. The concepts are as follows. First one, how some men became rulers. Second one, Varnas. Third one, Janapads and Mahajanpads. Fourth one, taxes. Fifth one, changes in agriculture. Sixth one, a closer look, Magadha. It was the one of the kingdom in the north part of our subcontinent. Seventh one, a closer look, Vajji. Vajji, it was the capital of Magadha in the later Vedic period. So let us begin our discussion with the new terms that given in your textbook. Let us understand the meaning of that words. So Ashwamedha means horse sacrifice. So this was the one of the religious ritual. And democracy, a form of government in which the will of the people is supreme. Fortification, huge walls of wood, brick, stone built around a settlement, that is called fortification. Gana, a group that has many members. Janapad, the land where Jana or people set its foot and settle down. So that province or area or a land is called the Janpad. So Mahajanpads. Some Janpads became more important and larger than Janpad were known as Mahajanpads. Republic, a state governed by the elected representatives called the republic government. Sangha, an organization or an association called the Sangha. Tax, sum of money levied on people, goods or property. So this is related with the economical matter. So and transplantation, it is relative with the agriculture. So transplantation means instead of scattering seeds on the ground, so particularly in a one small area the seeds are scattering, and here in this field the plants sprout, sapling are grown and then planted in the larger fields. So this is called the transplantation. And Varna means different groups in a society. For example, Arya, Vaishya, Kshatriya and Shudra. These were the four different groups in a society divided by priests. So let us begin our discussion. Kingdoms, kings and an early republic. Yes, dear students, you are observing the four pictures here. So this is the election booth, and this is the election day, and the adults are waiting for casting their votes during election day, and these are representatives or leaders of our country. So we are discussing about that the present day India has a democratic government. So people wish to contest in the elections submit their nominations to the election commission. In elections, people cast their votes in favor of the candidates of their choice, and those who get maximum votes win the elections and become leaders, rulers, or representatives. So this is all about the present day condition of the democratic government. But what about the during the later Vedic period, how the rajas, or sorry, how the men became rulers of the kingdom, so that we are going to study. Yes, dear students, let us understand how some men became rulers in the later Vedic period. What is the later Vedic period? So later Vedic period means in 3000 years ago the Vedic books were started writing. So first of all, the Rig Veda, it was written in the 3000 years, 3500 years ago. So later in 3000 years ago, remaining three books were written. So after the Rig Veda, Sama Veda, Yajur Veda, Atharva Veda. So these books were written in the 3000 years ago. So this period is called as a later Vedic period. So in the later Vedic period, in the north part of our subcontinent, how the rulers holded the royal chair of their kingdom, and how the kingdoms were formed, and how the people or Visha or Jana accepted the republic government, that we are going to discuss. Yes, dear students, in the later Vedic period, how the men became rulers or kings. So kings were chosen probably by the Jana in the Vedic period, but some men were recognized as Raja, performing big sacrifices in the later Vedic period. So who was performed the who is performed the religious sacrifices, that men became the rulers of the kingdom in the later Vedic period. So which are the sacrifices they were followed, or they were performed? So one is the Ashwamedha. So Ashwamedha, it was the one of the religious sacrifice to become a ruler of the kingdom in the later Vedic period. So start with the what is Ashwamedha. Yes, dear students, the Ashwamedha is a horse sacrifice ritual followed by the Shudra tradition. Shudra means who are soldiers. That family tradition are performing the religious sacrifices like Ashwamedha in the Vedic religion. So it was used by ancient Indian kings to prove their imperial sovereignty, their power, their freedom, and all the matters to show in front of the people. They had to be performed the religious rituals like Ashwamedha. So what is the Ashwamedha ritual? So on the other hand, in Janpad means it is a province or a territory or area. So the land, in that land, some men become rajas as performing certain sacrifices. So one such ritual was the Ashwamedha or horse sacrifice. So just you observe these pictures. A horse was let loose to wander freely. It was guarded by the Raja's men, and if the horse wandered into the kingdoms of other Rajas and they stopped, they had to be fight. If they allowed the horse to pass, it meant that they accepted the supremacy of the Raja who performed the sacrifice. Yes, dear students, this is all about the Ashwamedha sacrifice. And the Rajas were then invited, and so in the Raja who organized the sacrifice was recognized as being very powerful, and all those who came brought gifts for him. So the Raja, after performing these rituals, in this ritual time, some of the invited ministers or invited other provinces kings brought some gifts for the Raja, and the Raja was a central figure of these rituals. He often had a special seat called the throne. Throne means it is the royal chair or a tiger skin. So his charioteer was his companion in his all battlefields, and he was the eyewitness person his all exploit means battlefields in front opponents wars of the other provinces kings. So in this ritual time, in the Ashwamedha horse sacrifice ritual time, the charioteer chanted the tales of his glory, king's glory. Chanted means he explained about his battlefield victories in front of all people, all ministers who gathered in the ritual, and his relatives, the king's relatives, especially his wives and sons, had to perform a variety of minor rituals. The other rajas were simply spectators, and who had to sit and watch the performance of the sacrifice, and priest performed the rituals, including the sprinkling of sacred water on the king. Sacred means holy water. The all the priest sprinkled the holy water on king's body. The ordinary people, some of the peoples invited to watch this sacrifice, they were brought the gifts for the king, his religious performance, as well as he became the king of the kingdom. So, however, some people, such as those who were regarded as Shudras by the priest, were excluded from many rituals. Means the Shudras were avoided to watch these rituals or participate in these rituals, because they were belongs to some of the lower caste people, or they are as a dasas or dasis, so they were avoided to mingle in these or rituals. So this is the one of the priest information, that they could not involve in this rituals. So the Raja followed that policy of the priest in during the ritual times. So next we go through the Varnas. So this is the second concept of this chapter. Yes, dear students, we have many books that were composed in North India. So which are the books composed in North India? Especially the Vedas. So the some of the areas drained by the Ganga and Yamuna during this period. These books are often called the later Vedic book. Yes, dear students, you are observing the map of Indian subcontinent having the river system. So the Ganga and Yamuna, so these drained the some of the larger area in the North Indian part. So on the bank of these rivers, all the area or places are holy places. So why? Because in later Vedic period, means after the Rig Veda, another three books were written in the 3000 years ago. So this period is called as a later Vedic period. So in this later Vedic period, some of the holy places were emerged on the bank of these rivers, as well as some of the shrines, temples were constructed by the rajas, and some of the devotees arrived for arrived for taking the blessings of the gods. So this particularly Indian subcontinent is considered as a holy place. And in the 3000 years ago, some of the Vedic books were written. So just start with the Varnas. So we have many books that were composed in North India, especially in the areas drained by the Ganga and Yamuna. So these books are often called later Vedic, and because they were composed after the Rig Veda. So these include the Samaveda, Yajurveda, and Atharva Veda. So next we go through the priests divided people into four groups called the Varnas. So what is the Varna meaning? The priests. Priest means who are performing the rituals or religious rituals in the king's court or in a other area, other people's home. So basically the priest were belongs to Brahmin family or Brahmina group. So these priests divided society into various groups of people. So this division is called the Varnas. So according to them, each Varna had a different set of functions. They are following Brahmans, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras. So these are the four groups of the society. So the first the first Varna was that of the Brahman. So Brahmins were accepted to study the Vedas and teach the Vedas or perform sacrifices and receive gifts from the kings and the other peoples. So in the second place, when we go through the Kshatriya, they were belongs to a Kshatriyan family, and basically the Kshatriyans are rulers. They were rulers and they were accepted to fight battles and protect people. So next we go through the third Vaishya. They were Vish or Vaishya. They were expected to be farmers, herders, and traders. So both the Kshatriyas and Vaishyas could perform sacrifices. So and lastly we go through the Shudras. Yes, dear students, the last were the Shudras who had to serve the other three groups. So and could not perform any rituals. Often, women were also grouped with the Shudras. So, women belong to Shudra group, and both women and Shudras were not allowed to study the Vedas. So, women were avoided to study the Veda as well as Shudras. And the priest, so why did people oppose the system of Varnas? Because there was a one reason. The priest also said that these groups were decided on the basis of birth. For example, if one's father and mother were Brahmins, one would automatically become a Brahmin, and so on. So later they classified some people as untouchable. So these included some craft persons, hunters, and gatherers. So Shudras belongs to which persons? Hunter gatherers and craft persons, and some of the they helped in perform of burials and ceremonies. The priest said that contact with these groups was polluting. So these statements started the conflicts between the Shudras and the other three groups of the people in the society. So this was the condition of the Varnas in the later Vedic period. In upcoming class, we will start new concepts. Till then, bye bye. Stay home, stay safe.